So, hi everyone, welcome back to Tutoring Tuesday. This session is a very special one for all of us because it's something new. All these days, we used to be the spectators and Momin used to deliver, but today we got an opportunity to present on behalf of him. And it's going to be a very detailed session, so stay focused. And it's not just me, along with me, we have Pra, DP, and Himani, who will be guiding you through this week's tasks and assignments. So, what can you expect in today's session? So, these are the main things that we'll be covering in today's session. So, the very first thing is overview of the annual report guide, which Pra will be handling. And then we will be guiding you about the live sessions and the videos that you need to watch for this particular week. And I will be taking care of that. And then the instructions for assignments and the walkthrough to the Thinkific platform. This will be covered by DP. Then understanding about P&L and how you will be forecasting in the value model that is provided to you. This will be handled by Himani. And the very last thing will be selecting 4 presenters for Friday session. Since this is going to be a very detailed one, I guess you people have a bit of time to think about who exactly would be representing your team to present for this week session. So please keep somebody's name in mind, or if you're really looking forward to present for this week's session, you can just raise your hand or you can just drop your name in the chat box so that we just don't have to wait or tag some random person in the group. So without wasting much time, let's get started with today's session and over to Pro.
Okay, let's start with me. Let me share the screen first. I'm gonna talk about the annual report. Um, you guys can see the screen, right?
Yes,
Open in full screen. And my voice is also clear, right? Okay. So let's get started. So for today, I would like to share you about it, a step-by-step guide to reading and annual reports. This is gonna be like the basic one, but we really want you to know about this one. So let's get started. What you will learn for today is the, the first one, the different formats of the annual report. Company annual reports requirement formats by U.S. Securities and Exchange Commissions, or we usually call them as like getting to know the American depository receipts and American depository shares. Let me admit someone to let in the meeting. Okay. So let's start with the understanding the finance and business reporting. It's a firm's annual reports come in various forms depending on the regulation and the reporting requirement of the company or regulators where the firm is listed or operates. The US requires a form called 10K for their domestic companies. The domestic US company is a file an annual report in the US Securities and Exchange Commission 10K format. In this format is a different from the glossy annual reports that created by the companies. Almost every company produces both, however, some use the 10K as the financial sections of the glossy report. The purpose of the 10K is to ensure that the investor gets complete and timely information. The USX also requires a form called 20F as well. It's for the company that are non-US company They have listed their security on U.S. exchange and are engaging in the significant business operations outside the United States. It's also used for the registration of the securities of foreign private issuers. The reports provide a complete information about a company business operation, financial conditions, and management. Let's take a look at an example of a company that submits a 20F from Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Companies or TSMC is listed in the Taiwan Stock Exchange, but they also have the American Depository share listed on the New York Stock Exchange as well. The company produced both the glossy annual report and also the 20F form. There are like more than 2,000 American depository receipts that give access to foreign company shares. The ADRs are negotiable certificates that's issued by a U.S. bank. It represents the ownership of the number of shares in the foreign company stock. ADRs are traded on U.S. stock exchange and are denominated in the U.S. dollar. They enable U.S. investors to invest in foreign companies without having to purchase shares on foreign exchange directly. And the ADRs also may request one or more shares of the foreign company stock. For the American depository shares, it is the individual shares underlying ADR certificates. Each ADR typically represents multiple ADS, although the exact ratio may vary. ADS are the actual units of the ownership that are traded on U.S. exchange. When investors purchase the ADR, they are also buying the ADS as well. This is the Coca-Cola glossy annual report that filled with the color. But if you see the second one, it's gonna be the opposite, mainly gonna be black and white, like you can see in this one. Let's see what information we can find in this page. The first one, we can see the regulator name, which is SAFE. And we can see the form type, 10K. This is the firm logo and the full name of the company, the Coca-Cola company. And you also can see the trading symbol, which is KO. And the last one, you also can see this exchange that the firm is listed. In this case, it's listed New York Stock Exchange. So this page only see white and black. And this one, this is the first page of the Toyota report. You will see like the beautiful mountain picture with like the label of this company. And this one is like the first page of the Form 20F of the Toyota. You will see like the same thing, the regulator name at the top, the form type 20F. We can see the full name of the firm, Toyota Motor Corporation. And this company is from Japan, trading symbol TN, and the exchange, the firm is listed is the New York Stock Exchange. How to download the annual report. This is like a very basic one. Everyone know about this, but let me go through it a bit. So for this one, I go to Google, right? And I type the Toyota company name and follow with the investor relations. One research, I find that the link is gonna pop up at the first link. When we click it, we will go to this one, the investor relation page of the Toyota company. And the company investor relation page of each company might be the different format. So you can go and look around on the page of and find the keyword like the SEC filing or integrated report and the report bottom. In this case, for the SEC required report of the Toyota, they are combined here under the SEC filing, and the glossy one of the Toyota, they are combined under the integrated report button here. There is also another way to get the SEC filing as well. You can go to the SEC government, sec.gov, and then type the company name you want in this box. In this case, I want to know about the Toyota, right? I type Toyota and and this page gonna pop up, and you have to look at the first column. For my case, I want to know about the annual report from 20th, right? I'm gonna click this one and download it here. So for this part, what you have learned is the USS require the 10K format for domestic US firm, and for the 20F format is for the non-US company. These formats are required, but the company choose to make the glossy annual report to communicate with their shareholders. ADRs refer to the certificates that allow U.S. investors to trade foreign company shares on the U.S. exchange. And for ADRs, they are the actual share in the foreign company that the ADR represents. Let's go a bit further inside in the annual report. What you will learn in this section are the guidelines to go for reading an annual report, getting to know what would be found inside the letter to shareholders. Let's see some steps for reading annual report first. The first one, letter to shareholders, business overview, risks, management discussion and analysis, financial statement like balance sheets, cash flow statement, and income statement. And last one, audit opinion. For this week, I will walk you through only the step one, which is the letter to shareholders, and the rest from the second and to the sixth, I will talking about it next week. Step one is about the annual letter to shareholders. It's a letter written by a firm top executive to its shareholders. It provides the annual broad overview of the firm's operations, achievements, financial results, and plans. You will see the terms and visions of the firm listed, like from the CEO to the latest shareholders. Let's start with where to find the letter to shareholders section. For 10K, you can find in the first part of the report. For 20F, it does not exist in this report, but it's gonna provided in the grocery report one. In the grocery annual report, it's mainly provided in the first part of the report. But there are some firms that publish the letter to shareholders separately as well, like the Starbucks company. If you can see the first line and the second line here, the first one is the annual report, right? But they separately provided letter to shareholder in the second line link. This is the table of the publications of the past letter to shareholders. That is the company that you assign to do your final report, right? So I made this table to make it for you to easier to understand. So of course, the company name is going to be Personal Company, and it's from the USA. They have like two types of the annual report. The first is a 10K, and they also have the glossy one annual report as well. And you will find the letter to shareholder in the glossy annual report type. Let's see some example of what we can find in the letter shareholder from McDonald's, VMCBC23, and SAPSC as the example. The first one you can find the achievements. If you read to the yellow highlight, they have said that they have achieved an increase in system-wide sales of nearly about $20 billion. And they also said that their success is a direct result of their continued focus on their MCD growth pillar. This sentence is telling you about their achievement and their strategies. Next one, future plans. They have talked about the accelerating the asset strategy to set up a strong foundation for future growth, and they're gonna continue to double down their MCD growth pillar, which is their strategy. So the accelerating the arches is a growth strategy that they focused on three key pillars. MCD. M is for maximizing marketing, C is for committing to the core menu, and D is for doubling down on digital delivery and drive-through. So McDonald's is gonna continue to operate their business along with the strategy and CD. So you now know that the manager contact. Okay. So I lost the connection from this one, right? Future plans or achievements.
We can't see your
Yeah,
screen.
screen.
Oh, sorry. This
Loading
one,
now.
this one, or this one.
This is loading the skip. Yeah, the first part of this one, yes.
First have future plan, right?
Yeah, you have explained the yellow highlighted one. Please go after that.
Okay. Let me put it in 15. So let me start with this page, okay? Um, let me see. Okay. So I did talk about this yellow highlight one, like they have talked about the accelerating the arches. It's a growth strategy that focuses on the three pillar, right? M is for maximizing marketing. C is for committing to the core menu. D is for the doubling down on digital delivery and drive-through. So McDonald's continues to operate its business along with the strategies and MCD. So after reading this one, you're gonna know that the management plan to focus on MCD. So this could be an idea to create a fun story based on this plan. Let's move on to the next one. Future growth opportunities also can be found in the letter to shareholders as well. This is from the TSMC firm. Let me the yellow highlight together. Is have talked about the fundamental structural growth trajectory in the long-term semiconductor demand remaining strong. They also mentioned about the industry multi-year makeup trend of the 5G and high performance computing or HPC related applications. So this could have like an idea to find the further research about the 5G and HPC industry. For example, you can search for more information about the future growth of the 5G and HPC industry, and you can see the expected growth trend of those two industries, and if it could affect the firm's revenue in either positive or negative way, and you find it interesting, so you can put it as the firm story. Like this one, I put about the 5G as the first of story here. Next one about the critical negative impact also can be found in the uh, letter to shareholder as well. Let's see the first example from SSESE is a software producer. So they have like mentioned about the negative impact about they have faced like the new and unexpected challenges such as the terrible war in Ukraine that hugely impacted all of their life. They also face conflicts and geopolitical tensions, climate change, the energy crisis, inflations, and volatile markets. For TSMC, they have talked about their negative impact about the economic, human, geopolitical challenge across the world. They mentioned about the COVID lockdown, conflict in Ukraine, and geopolitical tensions, trade restrictions that severely disrupted global supply chains. So they have facing some challenges. This may help you to consider the main risks that affecting the firm through letter to shareholders. So what you have learned, the first one, the company's operating performance, plans, and impact are possible to appear in the letter to shareholders, and you can get an idea to create the company story for the letter to shareholders and do further research on that story. But however, after you go to like your company annual report, right? You can like think about it, consider, and also just whether you want to agree or disagree with what was written in the report. Finally, it's about you who to just and make it as a story in your final report. Okay. So this is the last page of the slide, and I put the link over here. Is the link from Fast Company, right? And the first link is the website's investor relation, and the second one is the annual report. I put both version, which is glossy one, and the last link is the 10K link. This gonna make you easier to like click and like download all of them. That's all I want to share you tonight. Yeah, if you have like any question, you can just type in the chat to like to save the time, and then I gonna move over to Madhula, right? Okay. Oh, and also I gonna upload this PDF in the learning platform as well. Don't worry about that. I talk which part is too fast. You can like come back and read it again. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Pra. And now it's time for me to walk you through the videos that you need to watch for this particular week. So let me just share the screen. I hope my screen is visible. Okay. So all these days, the lectures used to be uploaded over here. That is finance made ridiculously simple. And you also used to submit your assignments over there. Henceforth, you have to not go there. I mean, you can just go and, revise the concepts whenever you need. But from week number 3, that is from this week, all the lectures, all the recorded sessions and all the assignments will be uploaded over here. That is Valuation Masterclass Bootcamp part number 1. And I hope you have already received the access to it. And for this particular week, you just need to click on that particular section. And I'm so sorry, it's wrong video. Okay, so for this particular week, you need to watch the videos over here. That is forecasting revenue, all 7 videos, then forecasting gross margin. So there are over 5 videos over there. And forecasting EBIT margin, there are 4 videos that explains the concepts in detail. And the last one that you need to watch is this one. So this is the value model. Just because it is placed at the top, do not go to watch it first. First, complete watching all these videos, that is forecasting revenue, forecasting gross margin, and forecasting EBIT margin. And then you have to come and watch the value model, because it's a 56-minute video, and you have to pause and you have to just go along with the flow, because it's more of a tutoring type, and it's not that you just consume the video content, okay? And apart from that, there is just a brief intro and a welcoming to the official valuation masterclass, where Andrew will be walking through like how exactly the journey is going to be like. And if it all be considered from the content point of view, you need to watch a total of 17 videos this week. So if you have any doubts about the videos that you need to watch, you may just type in the chat box, or if at all you understood what I said, I think DP can proceed next.
Yeah. Would you also like to talk about the live sessions, Madhura? Just a
Okay.
brief review.
See, for live sessions, already Monday session got over, and the Tuesday session is going on right now. Tomorrow we don't have any session, and the only days where there are live sessions that's going to be on Thursday and Friday. So on Thursday there are going to be 2 sessions, one at 3 p.m. GMT plus 7, and the other one at 7 p.m. at GMT plus 7. So you may attend both the sessions, or you may prefer to attend one session, whichever is convenient to you. But it's ideal if you attend both the sessions, because you get to learn the mistakes that others commit, so that even you can prevent doing mistakes in your assignments and all. And the last session is going to be on Friday, where you will be presenting your stories.
So now I'll walk you through the assignments, where you need to find them and how you need to do them, and what's the most important part about assignments, because there's a lot of assignments this week. So let me just share my screen. Yeah, so for this week, you are going to find all the assignments in this part, Valuation Masterclass Bootcamp Part 1. So when you click on this, you'll just go and find the assignments. Here are the assignments, right? So first, I'd strongly suggest please watch the instructions video, because it will make the task very easy for you. And the first assignment that you need to work on is consensus estimates. So for consensus estimates, it's important because you need to know what others are saying about your company, what other analysts are saying about your company. So just have to, as the first step, you just have to download it from here. So when you click on download, you'll be able to see it in your downloads folder. Just go over there, and in your downloads, you'll find the consensus estimates template here. So this data here has been taken from Refinitiv. So in this, you just need to see whatever is written. You just need to observe. Like there are total 18 current number of recommendations. 18 analysts have given their recommendations. Strong buy has been given by 4. hold is given by 11 and sell is given by 3. So it's mostly a hold recommendation by most of those. And when you see the consensus recommendation is 2.7. So it's 2.7 of hold, right? Because most of them are recommending a hold for this company. And hold means the people who are too afraid to say it's a sell or it's a buy. So that's that recommendation. And then you need to see and talk about the target price, the mean target price as per their consensus. What is the mean target price? So the target price here is given 43.78, and which is an upside of 7.2%, right? So, and the next part is consensus forecast, in which you will see what the other analysts are talking or saying about your revenue growth of your company, which is Fastenal, right? The gross margin or the EBIT margin, the net margin. Like for this revenue growth, they have forecasted it to grow at 8.7% in 2025, and then grow to 8.9, and then drop a little bit in the growth percentage in 2027. So when you look at the example on the next slide, you'll see that you just have to comment. You don't have to forecast anything here. You just have to observe what's given in the data that's on this side, and then just share that observation in the form of words on the right side. Okay. So there are three sections to this. The first one is analyst recommendation, second is mean target price, and third is consensus forecast. So that was about consensus estimates. Now let's go to next assignment, which is story 1. So when you click on story 1 assignment, and also remember that the instructions are given here. Like for consensus estimate, you have to submit a PNG. So when you are done, after you have written all your comments on this side, you have to save it as a PNG, and then you have to submit it here below. Okay, here is what you need to load your PNG. And for the story 1 assignment, you just have to again follow the same procedure. Click on that and then download it. You'll get the template. When you go to your downloads folder, you'll see story template. There it is. Okay. So the first thing here is to remember to enter the correct ticker code here, because what happens is we follow this sample that's given on the next slide and we forget to change the ticker code that's there. It's a common mistake. So don't forget to change the ticker code for Fastenal. So, and also add your revised background. Like you must have prepared the background in last week, right? So, you could have revised it by now, right? So you just have to add that revised background text here and the image here. And then in the same slide, you have to write the first story as the first paragraph. And remember that it should only cover 1/3 of the space that's available to write, because in the next week you'll have to write 2 other stories and they will take the rest of the space. So remember, it should only take 1/3 of the page, and you don't need to stick to the previous stories. Like you must have written that in Excel format, right? So when we research, our understanding about the company develops, and maybe we find something that's more important than what we have written as stories in the last week, right? So you don't have to stick to those stories. You can just uh, see which one is the most important, which one is going to have the maximum impact on its revenue or profit margins, and then write that story as the first story. And most important thing is to follow, for this assignment as well as for other assignments, follow the equity research checklist. It's very important. And the other thing which is very important for this stories slide is focus on just one key story driver. Do not have too many things which are the focus of the story, of the same story. Just one key driver, which is so this whole story is just revolving around that particular revenue driver or EBIT or the profit driver. Okay, and then you have to um, support that with evidence. Why do you expect that to happen? So in case, maybe let's say you mentioned that some analyst or some reputable source is saying that it will grow by 46% in revenue by 2030. So you have to name that source as well. And then you have to add that source at the bottom of the page as well. Okay. In the paragraph also, and as well as at the bottom of the page. Again, for this assignment, you have to save it as a PNG from here. You just go to file and then save as, and then you save it as a PNG. Okay. When you have saved it as a PNG, then you go back to your portal and then you just upload it here. Okay. So that was our second assignment. Now let's move to revenue breakdown. So for revenue breakdown, let's first download by clicking the template by clicking here. And when you have downloaded, go to your downloads folder and open it. So you might remember that in the last week you wrote about the background text, and we told you to not write too much about its revenue streams in that background text, right? Because you have to mention all those revenue streams and segments here in this particular assignment, in this particular slide. So again, remember, first is to change the name, change the ticker code, okay? So the first part is, let's look at these pictures here. So you can add pictures or you can also add pie charts. Let's say if you have a company that has 50% of its revenue coming from United States and let's say 50% from international market. So you'll have a pie chart with 50% and 50%, right? And then you will have to make sure that all those pictures are clear, high quality, and the text which you have written in the pie chart that's easily readable so that when you present it, the other person can easily see it. Okay, so that's the first part, and make sure that it's about the most current recent year. Like if you have the most recent data for Fastnell for year 2024, then it should the segment breakdown should be about 2024. Okay, and make sure to watch the instructions video carefully because you don't have to write about every segment that they have. Just have to write about the major segments which are contributing to its revenue, right? So for this chart, yes. How will you make this chart? So let's go back to the learning portal. And you see in the step 2 here, it's written, download this Excel template here. So when you click on here, you'll be able to download that Excel template. Go to your downloads folder and then you will be able to see this. Okay, I have already added the numbers and values for Fastenal here. Let's look at the fresh template so that you can. Okay, yeah, here it is. So this is for Merck & Co. So first thing that you need to do is to change the name of the company here. And if the currency is in $1,000,000, then you let it stay that way. If you have entered it in $1,000,000, then you have to enter in billion. Change it to billion, okay? For the first 3 years, you can notice that A is written over here, right? 22A, 23A, 24A. So this is the actual years, the actual revenue that we already have a data for, okay? And this is the latest reported actual year, like 2024. And these three, the next 3 years, 25E, 26E, 27E, these are forecast year for which you have to make the forecast. All right. So how will you get this revenue? So there are various ways to get it. Like you can get it from the annual reports of the company. You can get it from the websites like Yahoo Finance, or we also have our value model, which you might have downloaded by now. It's here. When you go under the first report model, you click here and when you download it, your value model gets downloaded. When you go to your downloads and open it, you'll be able to see the value model like this, right? So here in the first top portion, you can see the revenue and the actual revenue for 2022, for year 2023, for year 2024. So you just have to copy this data from here. Let's say you copy this data and then go to your revenue breakdown sheet where you have to put in the numbers for revenue of Fastenal and you just paste that data here. Okay, so that's how you need to do that the data has changed now, and the same goes for net profit. Go back to your model if you are using model to extract this information, and here in row 31 you'll be able to see the net profit. So you just have to copy it for the last 3 years, copy it, go back to your template where you are editing to get your chart for the revenue breakdown page, and just paste it. Okay, so that's how you will enter the values for the actual years. Now, what about the other 3 years? How will you fill those? So here, I know we all know that the research about the company is not yet complete. So here you just have to make a rough estimate. Okay, uh, like you have this consensus estimate, right? The industry estimate and your stories. They are the most important things. What do you think about the company? Do you think the company always beats the industry estimate? Are you positive about the company based on your stories so far, whatever research has been completed till now? So whatever rough estimate you can come about for the company, you just have to make your assumption and forecast the revenue for this year like that. Like, let's just say, based on the past performance of the company, I feel like there will be a 10% increase in the revenue for year 2025 forecasted. Okay. So you just go there and you make like 1.1 and do that. And then you enter. So you've got a 10% increase in revenue for 2025. It's just a rough estimate, definitely based on your opinion about the company, like how much of research you have done till now, and how much positive are you about the company or negative about the company? Do you think you can break or beat the consensus estimate? Like if the consensus is saying it's just gonna grow by 5%, but I think my story definitely points towards a 10% increase in revenue. So stick to your opinion, okay? So and also for the net profit, you just have to take it as a percentage of the net revenue for the next 3 years, forecast years. Like I expect net profit to be nearly around 10% of the revenue or 15% of the revenue. So just find a percentage which you want to you consider would be appropriate percent based on a rough estimate for now. Okay. So yeah, and in your in your value model, when you have completed the valuation, you will find that same chart here in the publish sheet. Here is the publish sheet. Can you see it on the bottom? When you go to the publish sheet, you'll be able to find that same chart here. Can you see that? And it will be revised based on your valuation. When you complete the valuation, this whole chart will be revised. So you don't have to worry about creating a perfect forecast right now, definitely, because as you keep working on the company, your understanding will improve and your stories will change probably. So you will come up with a revised version of the chart. So here, like this, you will have to use later. But for now, let's go back to our template where we were working. So once you are done with this, like you have a rough estimate. And for the forecast, there's one also thing that you can do. Let's go to a website, which is a market screener. There, it's a website which has some data about the forecast and because it's your first company, you can take help of this. So you just type the company here. Okay, and then you can you see this fastener company written over here? You just have to click on it and you go to its financials. When you go to its financials, you will be able to see the forecast here. Okay, like here. Can you see 2025? It's given for 2026. It's given for 2027. So I'm not saying take it as it is, but use it as a benchmark and then have your own opinion. Do you think it's right based on the stories that you have created, based on the research that you have done? If you think it's right, you can use it. But if you think, nah, I think it should be a little bit lower, or I think it should be a higher, then you can just enter those values into your template. Just this is just for some support, which you can use as a benchmark. Okay, once you are done, once you're satisfied with your forecast for now, rough estimate, then you just have to copy, click on this picture and copy it and go back to your PPT and you delete this previous graph and you click on the external boundary of this section and then paste it as an image. Now, definitely this graph looks weird because I have not completed the forecast in a appropriate manner. This is just for example. So this is how you will come up with this forecast. So that's it. And now, again, ticker code should be same across all the pages. Here in this section, the description of the revenue, where the company generates its revenue from, you don't have to talk about the forecast. You just have to talk about the actual segments which are currently generating the revenue for the company. Okay, for this, you need to go to the annual report, like Prao just shared with you, and you go to the notes to financial statement. Okay, and then search for segment reporting or revenue breakdown section. So it's the most important place to go to find where the company earns its revenue from, because the company is the only one who knows. If you own the company, you would know where you are generating your revenue from, right? The major segments, only you can tell. So that's why we need to go to the company's documents, which they have shared. So don't explain about small segments which are contributing less than 5%. If let's just say the company is making 30% of its revenue from chocolates. So just say it like that, state it, mention it like that. All right. And again, make sure that if it's a revenue breakdown by segment, then you have to just write by segment. But if you have a pie chart which is showing the revenue breakdown by geography, then you have to write by segment and geography along with the updated latest reported year. Okay. So again, you have to save it as a picture and then go back to your learning portal and here is the place where you need to upload it. So those are the 3 assignments. Yeah. P&L forecast will be explained by Himani. And for this 5th assignment, weekly note-taking assignment, which you already know and are pretty much familiar with it by now. So you just have to keep taking your notes throughout the week and then submit it as a PDF at the end of the week or Thursday. So if you have any questions about it right now, you can ask for the assignments that I've explained. For PNL forecast, I will take the questions later after once Himani has explained it. Okay, I'll stop sharing and
Yeah, so okay guys, P&L forecasting basically is one of the most important assignment for this week because it will determine the valuation of your company and the intrinsic value based on which you are going to recommend whether it is a buy or a sell. And the good news is that you can submit this assignment by Sunday midnight. So let me just share my screen and explain to you how exactly you have to go through the model. Can you see my screen? Okay.
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Okay. So first of all, when you download the model from the portal, it will look something like this. So it seems a little bit complicated, but once you start using it, it will be easy. So it is divided, the sheet is divided in 4 parts. As you can see, if I scroll, then the below portion is not moving. And if I scroll the below portion, then the upward is not moving, and the similarly for left and right. It is to make the forecasting easier. So look at row number 13. So from row number 13 till row number 31, it is the P&L of the company. Okay. And below it is balance sheet, cash flow, which you do not have to worry about right now because we will cater to it in the following weeks. So this is basically the P&L of the company, and till column X, all these numbers are the actual numbers, like the historical numbers which the company achieved, and all these are the numbers that you will forecast with your assumption. Now, if you try to click here, it will show a warning because these cells are not editable and you do not have to edit them. They will change automatically. So where you will make the changes? If you scroll it a little bit, you will find this gray portion. Okay. This is white portion which is not editable, and this is gray portion in which you can change the numbers. So if you go on row number 183, you will find this P&L. So for example, if I take this number, 2025 revenue growth. So this is a growth number. And suppose I assume that Fastnell may introduce new products next year and it is going to perform good. And I'm quite bullish on Fastnell. So maybe I assume that it is going to grow by 5%. Okay. And if I change the number to 5%, the number is updated. And similarly, I have to do it for all the upcoming years. And this is gonna be on the basis of your stories, the 3 key stories you will write. Right now, this week you will only write 1 story. So based on that, whatever your assumptions you have about the company, just plug in the numbers. Whether you are bullish or whether you think the company is not doing well, just include all those in your numbers. The same is going to be for the gross profit margin. For SG&A and sales, make sure that it is not a growth number. SG&A is calculated as a percentage of sales, the sales which are given in row number 185. And then comes the other operating expense. So the slash given here is basically slash, not a divide number, which means that operating can be an expense and it can even be an income. So basically it can be a negative number and a positive number both. And if we see above, then the company doesn't really have any other operating expense. So you do not need to forecast this. But in case in future you find any company in which there is other operating expense, then you can simply just read annual report and form an assumption. But you do not have to spend much time on it because it is a very small part of the whole P&L model. And the same goes for other operating income. It is a very small part. So do not pay much time to it and much attention. Next important items are interest rate paid and earned. Now, interest rate paid is basically calculated on the loans and borrowings you have taken, and the interest rate earned is calculated on the investments you have done. And hence, they are related with your balance sheet, which you have not forecasted right now, but just form assumptions regarding how much interest rate do you think the company will have to pay in the coming years based on the notes to accounts you will read. And when in the next week you will forecast balance sheet, make sure to come back to these numbers and see if they align with what your assumptions are. Now,
Effective tax rate, you can see what is the trend and what is the company guidance. So companies basically give their guidance regarding the effective tax rate for the year. And if they haven't, you can just look at the trend and the statutory rate of that specific country, and you will be able to forecast it easily. The same goes with these two items. These two are also related to balance sheet, and for Fastnell, they do not even have it, so you do not need to forecast. Last important items is these two. So they are also pretty easy. For Fastnell, we do not have it, but just for the explanation, the foreign exchange gain or loss is quite volatile, and we do not know whether in a particular year the company is going to gain from it or lose from it. Hence, we do not forecast it. There is no way we can forecast it for the next year or the coming 2, 3, 4 years. So, how do we offset it? Whatever the number is in the previous year, suppose it is a positive number. So we just do uh, negative 100%, and by doing that, the entire number will be offsetted and it will become zero. Right now, it did not become zero because there was no number, because it was zero basically, so it became negative 100. But if it was a positive number, it would have become zero. And if a negative number is given here, then to offset it, you have to type positive 100%. And for exceptional item growth also, exceptional items are exceptional, that is, they happen infrequently, that is sometimes, and you can't forecast it. You can just have a look at the annual report of the company and see that the exceptional item which has happened this year, do you think it will happen in the future? And if so, then you can just forecast it for 1 year and then again make it zero for the next years. Or if the exceptional item number is too big, then you can just average it out. Like for example, if you average it comes out to be 5,000. Then you can just write 5,000 in all these places. And by doing this, you will get your net profit. Okay, these two numbers are not editable. You will simply get your net profit here. Now, how to basically form all these assumptions, because you don't really have read so much right now. So one of the best way to form assumptions is to read the notes to account, because they have a proper distribution of everything. Like for example, if you open the notes to account for SG&A, you will find what is the biggest uh, percentage contributor to SG&A and why this year it increased or maybe decreased. The company will explain everything in their annual report, and from that, you will be able to form a strong opinion about the company. So make sure you refer to the notes to accounts to be able to do this assignment perfectly. And you can also refer to the past quarter results. Like, for example, the past 3 quarter results are given here in numbers as well as in percentage. So you can also form an opinion on the basis of that. Don't entirely rely on the historical numbers because the situations might have changed. Now, this was just a brief about the P&L, but if you go to the value model here, and if you watch this video after going through all these videos, then you will be able to understand in detail how to do each and every step and link those steps to your key stories. And then it will be quite easy for you to do. Uh, After doing your P&L forecast, you have to go in this VMC sheet, type your name here, and look at this P&L. This is a P&L that you have forecasted in the previous sheet. Look whether the numbers make sense to you, whether these ratios make sense to you. And after you're satisfied with this, go here. This is a common list of mistakes that people do while forecasting their P&L. And if it is in red, then it means that there might be a problem. So if it is a red, you can even check the block related to it, and you can compare. Like your estimate is this, but in the past 3 to 5 years, the estimate was this. So there's a huge discrepancy. Now, if you have a way to justify this discrepancy, then you do not need to fix it. But if you do not have any reasonable explanation why you deviate so much from the past, then you need to fix it and make it, black. After you have fixed the mistakes or justified them with a reasonable explanation, and you're satisfied with your assumptions and the net profit, then you can simply save this output as image and upload it in the assignment portal and submit it by Sunday. So this was a brief overview. If you have any questions, feel free to ask.
So,
Also,
were all of you
yeah,
able to? Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Go on, Himani.
No, I was just saying that it was a little overwhelming. So if you think that you might have questions later, so you can ask us on DM or on Slack group also.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just saying, were you able to enable the macros, or should I just show it once after downloading the file? I can show it. Okay, it might come in handy. I'll just share the screen. And once you download it, like here's your first report model, your first company is here. And once you download the model, you go to your download section. And here is, wait, you go to the download section, and wherever that file is, you just right click on that and go to properties. And this will appear. And you see this unblock written over here, just have to click on it and then OK. Just have to click on OK. And then all your macros will be enabled and you'll be able to see the file. Like when it's not enabled, it will appear like this. And when once you have enabled it, then it will appear like this. Okay.
How about Mac?
Yeah.
Is Mac the same?
Can you repeat that?
Sorry, I assume it's the same for the MacBook that or something similar.
Yeah, it's something similar. On the top menu bar, able to see an option to go to settings and then security and then enable macros option will be there. And it's also there in the instructions video for this week. You'll be able to find the way to enable the macros in your MacBook as well.
Yeah, for some reason I can't seem to enable the macro or 3 stories. That's why for some reason I follow the steps but still can't activate the macro.
For the 3 stories, I mean, the Excel template,
Yeah.
but for the 3 stories, we have a PowerPoint template.
No,
Uh,
no, Himani. Last week it was Excel template. He mean he didn't, he wasn't able to edit that macros last week. Is that correct?
Okay, I got it.
yeah, but it's okay. Let me try for the new file first. Maybe it can. Yeah, no worries then.
Okay, yeah, you just have to try, and if it doesn't happen, you can reach out to us anytime. And for the stories, there's an important thing that stories don't have to be about revenue. They have to be about key growth driver for the company. It could be positive, it could be negative. The stories could be saying that the revenue for this company is going to fall by 10% in the next year because I think their deal is not going to go well. The next year, they're going to make a deal and it's not going to go well according to my research. So remember, the stories don't have to just tell about the positive side of the company. They could be anything, but something important. The 3 most important things that are going on in the company or that will impact the company. Maybe it's revenue, maybe it's profit. So remember not to just write about the positive ones. You can write anything, whichever you think is important for the company. Any other questions? Okay, so I think there are no questions for now, but when you go through the assignments. Probably you'll come up with some doubts. You can easily and freely ask them on Slack. One more thing, we have to choose the presenters for this Friday. Story 1 presenters. So who's ready to present this Friday? One person from each of the groups. It'll be interesting. You'll get a lot of feedback from Andrew himself, and you'll be able to revise it because stories are the most important part of the valuation. Yeah, you can do it. Go on. Share your names.
Yeah, just share your name and then I will write your name.
I always I always think that you really benefit from going first. You get a lot of information, a lot of feedback. It boosts your confidence, and also you get to relax a little bit after because you don't go the next week.
I can look for team 4.
Okay.
Okay. Come on, we need more names.
Okay, team 1 for me.
Okay, great.
For team 2, I don't mind.
That's great. That's great.
Wait, let me write your name first. For team 4 it's gonna be Surya, right? And then
Yes.
team 1 Benjamin.
Team 2, team 2.
Team 2 Benjamin, okay. Let me tag you in the Slack. Team 2, okay. Okay. And another one, what is your name again?
Lane.
Lin for team
Yes, team 1.
1. Okay. Lin for team 1. Wait. Okay. Only one team left, like team 3.
So, Puvakrit, would you like to go for team 3?
Maybe you guys need to pick one. Maybe they don't attend this session.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll share on the Slack channel, and maybe they'll be able to pick their presenter for this week there.
Okay.
So any final questions, guys? No? Okay, that's great. So keep doing great, everybody. Take care. And I know you all can do this perfectly. We all know this, and we're all here. Reach out anytime if you struggle with anything. Okay, so I think we are done for the session.
Yeah, let's meet on Thursday.
Yeah. Good luck, everyone, and see you.
Thank you guys. Thank you very much for your
Thank
time.
you. Bye.